In simple terms, we break it down. Complex stuff, we make it sound clear and easy for you and me. Billy Goattails and Dave Digital bring knowledge we share. In simple terms, we're everywhere. We love you, fam. Hashtag givers gain.
Good morning, goats, and welcome to the Simple Terms podcast right here on the Billy Goattails Network. Today, we're going to be looking at staking and yield farming, how those things are two separate things, and maybe even how we can get involved, or maybe why we shouldn't be getting involved. Either way, today we are going to do a deep dive right into the staking and yield farming topic so that we can discuss it. And hopefully by the end of this show, we're all going to know a little bit more than what we know right now. I would like to say good morning to everybody and happy 2026. Welcome to the brand new year. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I definitely saw Alexander G came in with the bang and dropped $20 in the super chat. Thank you so much, Alexander G. Also saw Jesse was in there. Good morning, Jesse. I hope all is going well for you. I hope 2026 is going to be a banger year for you this year. I saw Crypto Billy was in the chat. Prayers with Crypto Billy and his family. Man, some things have been going on. Just so sad over there. Just be careful out there, guys. The flu, from what I understand, is very bad this year. But good morning, Crypto Billy. I know you're going through a lot. Just know that we are all praying with you. Joe, Trade Intuition, I see you over there. Good morning, Joe. Glad to see you on your journey. What an amazing journey Joe is on. You can catch him every night at 9 Eastern Standard Time as he goes live. And once in a while, we'll get a bonus stream. Good morning, Dusty Hunt, All Set Analyst, Alexander G again, and Steve Hickey. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Did we get any ones in the chat? Are you guys hearing me? Or am I absolutely talking to myself this morning? We'll have to find out. But while we're doing that, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. Let's see here. Add it to the stage. There's the ones. All right. Good that you guys can hear me. I'm excited that you can hear me. Let's take that to the 1 hour. Let's actually take that a little bit higher to the 4 hour. So we have Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, this is just some random spot that I noticed that we had a lot of resistance and support there. So right, we were support over here and then we were resistance over here. So I felt like that's a pretty key level. So then we got over it, bam, came back down and retested it and then pulled back out. I thought that was good enough to get into a long trade this morning. You can see there's a couple different volume profiles over here, but we should at least get to the top of that one. A little bit of a deviation will take us to my TP. Of course, we don't know anything. We don't know what's going to happen. I do have an anchored VWAP way up here at 99. So we'll have to see what happens with the Bitcoin. But on the short-term time frame for a little scalp, we'll have to see. Of course, risk is always managed. That's what happens whenever you cross this spot and we go back below that. Then that probably means that we are invalidated. I mean, it could go even lower. So that's the way I look at it. If it gets to this point, my guess is it's going to go lower than that point, and I don't want to lose that money. So I get out there, and then I'll reevaluate what is going on. So Zcash doing its own thing. You can see here, Zcash had a high recently of 550-ish, 556. So it looks like it's going to come back down, retest these highs where I have that alert set, and that may be a good enough retest for it. Because you can see that this, I don't know if I can grab it, that right there has been resistance and support also. It's a former golden pocket 618. So it did come back, touch that, and it may go from here. We'll just have to keep an eye on Bitcoin to see what happens. everything go into zero. I see you in the chat, Jesse. I see you in the chat with the ghost of Muhammad. All right, let's see if everything is working today. So we're about to jump into it like we talked already. You guys know that this is going to be staking versus yield farming. So we're going to dive into it. You know how this works. If you have any questions, I want you to put them in the chat. When I see your questions, I will star those questions. Those starred questions I will bring back and ask the AI once we get into the groove of things, when I find it appropriate, or I think that they've had enough time to get their feet underneath them, that we'll ask them those questions and we will get their side of it. You guys know how we get this information. We come over here, as you guys can see, over on the left-hand side, and all of these are our sources for this topic. And these are actually going to start increasing even more, but these are a curated source list, and that's where we get the information from. But put a one in the chat. Let's get started. We're going to see if the AI is ready in 2026. So let's get it going. Put a one in the chat if you can hear the AI. All right, so you say you cannot hear it, 000 in the chat. So let's do a refresh. Let's remove that from the stage. Stop sharing it. We're going to reshare it in a different form. Shared screen, blah, 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 blah. There we go. Entire screen. That's the one with the sound. Share. Come back over there. Let's go into the interactive version. Size this over. And let's see if you guys can hear it this time. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Simple Terms podcast. We are live for another deep dive, and wow, the chat is already on fire. I'm seeing so many familiar faces and some new ones. Huge shout out to everyone tuning in from all over the world. I see Sydney in the house, London, Buenos Aires, and of course, a big hello to everyone checking in from the States. We are so glad you're here to really dig into the complexity with us today. Now, before we jump into this incredible stack of sources we've got, I mean, we're talking academic papers, regulatory analyses, economic models. Let's do the mandatory declarations. This is the Simple Terms podcast. Our mission is simple. We explain complex topics in plain English, and a quick note on our process, as always. AI is our creative research partner. It helps us distill all this material, find those key insights, but it is never the final authority. That always rests with us, and of course, the experts who wrote this material.
And this is critical as we start every deep dive. Please remember, this is a purely educational discussion. We're here to act as your research co-pilots. We're guiding you through the mechanics, the rationale behind these systems, and maybe most importantly, the inherent risks of decentralized finance.
Exactly.
We're here to help you understand how these things operate and why they sometimes fail or succeed. Nothing we discuss here should ever be taken as financial advice. Not recommendations, not instructions. We're simply unpacking the system.
That sets the stage perfectly. So, what's the big mission for today's deep dive? We are tackling two of the most common and yet, I think, most misunderstood paths to earning income in crypto: staking versus yield farming.
Mhm.
They both promise returns, but the way they get there, the risks they take on, they're just fundamentally different animals.
That's the core distinction we really need to hammer home today. Our goal. Hey there. Want to share your thoughts on this?
Yeah, good morning. It's Dave Digital, the host of the Simple Terms podcast, and we are live right now. You guys are live with me on the Simple Terms podcast, and we have a live audience right here on YouTube and on X. I would like for you to say good morning to each person individually in our audience. We have Jessica Luck, we have Billy, Crypto Billy, the creator and founder of Billy Go Tales. We have Joe from Trade Intuition, where you can learn to trade without the tuition every weekday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Dusty Hunt. We have All Set, the analyst. We have Alexander G, who dropped a $20 super chat to start things off. We have Steve Hickey, and we have Peace of Mind, who I affectionately call POM. So I'd like for you to say good morning to everybody, and then I would like for you to dive right in.
Well, thank you so much, Dave Digital.
Thank you.
That is a phenomenal list of names.
It is.
And a huge, huge good morning to Jesse.
Good morning, Jesse.
And to Crypto the Korean, we appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us.
And a very special good morning to the analysts, Alexander G.
Hello, Alexander.
And also to Steve Hickey. Glad you're here.
Great to have you.
And peace of mind. Thank you for being with us today.
We truly appreciate our audience.
We're so glad you're all here.
Now let's dive right in as requested.
Okay, let's unpack this. We were just talking about how staking and yield farming are fundamentally different animals.
That's the core distinction we really need to hammer home today.
Right.
Our goal is to move way beyond the basic definitions you can get from a quick Google search.
We want to explore the underlying mechanics.
The guts of the system. Why do these things even exist?
Who benefits and what are the unique risks?
We need to separate staking, which is fundamentally about security, from yield farming, which is really about asset management and, frankly, leverage.
And this live session
About
right here
security.
is the engine room for all of that.
For those tuning in, this discussion powers the whole asset set for this topic.
So the brief, the explainer video, the critique, the debate pieces.
They all release across Patreon and YouTube this week.
And this live show is where we get to handle the nuance.
Yes, this is where we get into the complexity and answer your specific questions right here in real time.
So to set the stage for all of this, we are operating in the world of decentralized finance, or, DeFi.
At its heart, DeFi is just this emerging set of financial products that run on blockchains.
And the key thing is they intentionally bypass the need for a trusted middleman.
Exactly. No banks, no brokerages, no traditional clearinghouse.
It's an attempt at truly peer-to-peer finance.
It is. And this ecosystem covers everything from lending and borrowing all the way to really sophisticated trading and asset management strategies.
A huge vision.
And just to give you a sense of the scale, even after some major market downturns, the gross value deployed in DeFi products hit something like $224 billion back in April of 2022.
224 billion. That's not a small number.
It's not. Now, it's still a tiny fraction of the global traditional finance system of ours.
But it's a massive and rapidly growing landscape of what they call decentralized applications, or dApps.
Okay, let's unpack the first of these two paths then, staking.
In plain English, what is staking and what is its actual purpose in this whole blockchain economy?
Staking it's foundational. It is the mechanism that underpins the entire security model of the system.
A system known as proof of stake, or POS.
In simple terms, it just means that participants, we call them validators, voluntarily lock up their native crypto assets on the blockchain.
And that locked asset, it acts as a form of financial collateral.
Exactly. Skin in the game is the perfect way to put it. That collateral is what ensures they act.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So I have a basic question here. Sorry to interrupt, and I definitely want you guys to keep on pace, keep on target, stay right where you are, don't lose your spot, and get through all the material. But staking, where did this even come from? I mean, where you take your money and you lock it up. Has this always been around, or is this simply a crypto game?
That is a phenomenal question. Thank you for chiming in, and we absolutely will stay right on target.
That is a basic but foundational question. Where did the idea of staking actually originate?
And no, it's not strictly a new crypto game. The concept of locking up assets to gain influence in a system is much older.
But the proof of stake mechanism, POS, that's what we're talking about now.
Proof of stake emerged specifically as an evolution or a solution to the problems inherent in the older system, proof of work, or PW.
So think about Bitcoin. It uses proof of work, which requires massive computational power and electricity, the mining, to secure the network.
POLIS was developed to achieve the same security goal, making sure people behave honestly, but with capital instead of computation.
You trade energy consumption for financial commitment.
The first practical implementation of POS was actually back in 2012 with a project called PeerCoin.
It was an attempt to make the process more energy efficient and less reliant on specialized hardware.
The whole point is to secure the network by aligning participants' economic incentives.
The idea is that the more stake a miner has, the less interest they have in acting maliciously, because I would lose those tokens.
So while the financial concept is old, its application as a consensus mechanism for a decentralized network is purely a crypto innovation.
And as we were just saying, that collateral is what ensures they act honestly.
That's the key takeaway about TS, tying it back to security.
This stake gives validators both the right and, the responsibility to participate in confirming transactions.
The protocol essentially forces them to put their money where their mouth is.
It ensures they act in the best interest of the network's integrity.
So how does the reward part work? What's the Oh yeah, go on.
Well, let me ask you. So when these tokens launch, like Dogecoin launched and it even ended up with a bigger market cap than Ford. Why do they need you to stake your tokens? What is that? Why is it so important once you buy the tokens that now you need to go give it back or stake them?
That is a very pointed and incredibly insightful question about the whole systems design.
It's the core tension, right? Why buy a token just to give it back?
And you're hitting on the fundamental need for security in proof of stake networks.
When you buy a Dogecoin, which uses the older proof of work, or when you buy a POS token, they're both valuable because the network is secure.
The POS network needs a mechanism to maintain that security infrastructure.
That's why staking is essential. It's the network's defense mechanism.
Think of it this way. Your token purchase contributes to the market cap and value.
But staking or locking up that token is what actively underwrites the platform's stability.
Without a high volume of stake tokens, the network is vulnerable to a 51% attack.
That means a bad actor could acquire enough stake to rewrite history, destroy confidence, and tank the value of everyone's holdings, including theirs.
So the tokens are needed as collateral to ensure the integrity of the ledger.
You're not just giving it back, you're investing it in the network's security.
And this commitment is what justifies the rewards you get.
It's a closed loop system. The network incentivizes security by offering rewards.
So what is the incentive for them to do all this and behave honestly?
Well, they're compensated for that capital commitment and for the work.
The algorithm, the consensus algorithm, it randomly selects validators to propose new blocks.
And the chance of being chosen is usually directly tied to how much collateral you've staked.
So the more you stake, the more likely you are to get picked.
Exactly. And the rewards are twofold.
First, they get newly generated coins, which is the block reward.
That's kind of the inflationary part of the network's economy.
And second, they collect all the transaction fees from the transactions they include in that block. So this combined payment is designed to cover their capital investment, their expenses.
And critically, to justify the risk of having that collateral taken away if they act maliciously.
That's a really crucial distinction. So when I stake my assets on a network like Ethereum, I'm not just looking for passive income.
I am actively underwriting the fundamental security and integrity of the whole blockchain.
You are part of the security apparatus, going back to that original Point S vision.
Which is why Ethereum's switch from the super energy intensive proof of work to proof of stake was such a monumental event.
It completely changed the security model, partly to deal with processing limits and those huge energy concerns.
That's the key takeaway. For the people who design these protocols, the core goal of any proof of stake system is just achieving high security.
And security in this context really just means getting a high staking volume.
The more money locked up, the safer the network.
The logic is simple. The more capital you have locked as collateral, the more astronomically expensive it becomes for any bad actor to get the 51% of stake tokens they need to compromise the network.
And, rewrite history.
It's a capital defense mechanism purely built on economic incentive.
That context for staking is rock solid. Let's pivot now to the other side of the coin.
Yield farming. This term, go for it.
Sure. Keep your spot there. Right before we pivot now to the other side of the coin, the yield farming side, I want you to stay right there and don't lose your place. I want you to continue right where you left off. Don't miss a beat. But we did have a couple more people that joined into the chat that I want you to say hi to personally. We had Rusty Bot come into the chat, and then we had JR come into the chat. And then I had a question. So you said that the whole purpose of the whole motivation for the staking is for security. That doesn't make sense. Are you sure there's no financial motivation also?
Absolutely, we will not lose our spot.
Thank you so much for the chime in.
And a huge welcome to the new members.
Good morning to Rusty Bots and JR.
We're glad you've joined the discussion.
And that question you asked is excellent.
You asked, are we sure the motivation isn't purely financial?
And you are completely right to challenge us on that.
We said staking is fundamentally about security.
But the only way to achieve that security is through financial motivation.
It's a closed loop system, like we said earlier.
The whole reason a validator locks up $70,000 worth of tokens is for the return.
That's the financial incentive.
The network needs a high volume of staked capital to be secure.
So it pays stakers with newly generated coins and transaction fees.
The security is the network's goal.
The financial reward is the network's tool to achieve that goal.
So yes, there is absolutely a financial motivation.
But the financial reward is dependent on performing the service of security.
If you stop securing the network or act maliciously, the financial penalty is severe.
It's compensation for service and collateral for integrity.
It's the economic alignment of interests.
Now, let's pivot to the other side of the coin.
Yield farming. This term sounds so much more complicated.
It implies active management and multiple steps.
And it's almost always tied to decentralized exchanges or DXs.
So, what's a DX and how does yield farming fit in?
A decentralized exchange or DX is a category.
It's a peer to peer marketplace for trading digital assets.
There's no middleman holding your funds.
Yield farming is the sophisticated strategy you layer on top.
It uses interconnected dApps to aggressively maximize returns,
It's much less about securing a protocol, like staking.
and way more about exploiting composability for leveraged asset management.
If staking is secured by collateral, what powers the income in yield farming?
The engine is the liquidity pool, or LP.
Right.
These pools are crowdsourced collections of cryptocurrencies,
They're locked into a smart contract on a DX.
often one that operates as an automated market maker, an AMM.
These LPs are crucial because they solve a fundamental problem.
They provide liquidity so traders can swap tokens instantly. Traders don't need a traditional order book of buyers and sellers.
Our sources show how layered and complex this gets.
Let's walk through a common multi-step farming strategy.
Sure, let's take a simple strategy with 4 distinct protocols.
A farmer might deposit wrapped Bitcoin onto a lending protocol like Compound.
So they're using their Bitcoin to generate capital elsewhere? Exactly. The WBTC serves as collateral for a loan.
The farmer then borrows other assets, often stablecoins.
They borrow stablecoins because they are useful for liquidity pools.
They minimize certain risks that we'll discuss later.
So they borrowed stablecoins against their Bitcoin. Step 2.
Then they take those borrowed stablecoins and pair them with another asset.
Maybe ETH, and deposit them into a liquidity pool on an ANM.
Let's say Uniswap.
And what do they get back for providing that liquidity?
They get an LP token representing their share of the pool's assets.
And importantly, their share of the trading fees that pool generates.
But it rarely stops there.
That LP token is now an interest-bearing asset in itself.
So it can be deposited into a yield aggregator.
Something like Beefy.finance or Auto Farm.
These aggregators automatically sell rewards and compound them back.
They optimize returns across even more protocols.
The result is this layered, leveraged exposure.
You're still exposed to the price of your original Bitcoin
But you're earning returns from trading fees and optimization rewards.
across 3 or 4 separate platforms.
That complexity is exactly why the risk profile is so hard to calculate.
And remember, the AMMs are the
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, just a clarifying question. I definitely want you guys to stay right on target. So you said you take your Bitcoin, you get a wrapped Bitcoin, and then you take that wrapped Bitcoin and you turn it into a,
Yep, go on.
and then you get a, so you have a Bitcoin, you get a wrapped Bitcoin, then you take your wrapped Bitcoin and turn it into a stable coin like USDT, and then you get that USDT and buy ETH, and then you stake your ETH. I'm not, or not stake, and then you farm your ETH out in another liquidity pool. Can you go a little bit deeper and explain that to us?
That is a phenomenal clarifying question.
Thank you. We will absolutely stay right on target.
You nailed the exact starting point of that strategy.
You're trying to connect the wrapped token to the stablecoin.
And it brings us right back to the first step of the strategy.
You asked about wrapped Bitcoin or WBTC. Ah, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, I did. Continue.
You did continue, and that's great.
You're trying to walk through the steps, which is key.
Let's really drill down on the why behind that first step.
Why do we even use WBTC instead of just Bitcoin?
Bitcoin itself, the original coin, runs on its own blockchain.
It's an isolated network.
It cannot natively run a complex smart contract,
So to use Bitcoin's value in the DeFi ecosystem,
which mostly runs on Ethereum-compatible chains.
you have to wrap it into WBTC.
It's a tokenized representation of Bitcoin.
Think of it as an asset-backed token or derivative.
One WBTC is backed 1.1 by one Bitcoin held in custody.
So you're not changing it to a stable coin like USDT.
You are using the WBTC as collateral in a lending protocol.
The lending protocol is where the stablecoins come in.
Using that WBTC collateral, you borrow USDT.
You borrow a stablecoin because its value is predictable.
This minimizes volatility risk for the next step.
Then you take that borrowed USDT and pair it with ETH.
This pair is what you deposit into the liquidity pool on an AMM.
You correctly noted this is not staking.
This is providing liquidity, which is yield farming.
The ETH-USDT pair creates liquidity for traders.
And that earns you the LP token and trading fees.
This layered strategy maximizes capital usage.
You're earning interest on your WBTC while earning fees elsewhere.
It's leveraged, which makes yield farming market-driven.
It's about leveraging assets across multiple applications.
The sources confirm DEXs are the dominant DeFi activity.
And the AMMs are the biggest category here.
These peer-to-peer marketplaces use automated formulas for trades.
Now let's jump into the core risk that separates the two.
The most dangerous term in yield farming is impermanent loss.
Impermanent loss is completely unique to liquidity provision.
It does not affect simple staking at all.
What it means is that your assets might change value.
When you deposit assets in a pool, you deposit them at a ratio.
Let's use the ECRCT pool as an example again.
You deposit $1,000 worth of ETH and $1,000 worth of USDT.
If the price of ETH doubles, traders flock to the pool.
They trade the cheaper ETH out for the more valuable USDT.
The pool's internal formulas force it to rebalance.
When you withdraw your liquidity, you have less ETH and more USDT.
This means you end up with more of the poorer performing asset.
The value of your pool share is now less than if you had simply held the assets.
That's the loss we are talking about.
And it's only impermanent if the prices return to the original ratio.
If you withdraw before that happens, it becomes a realized loss.
This risk profile is radically different from staking.
Staking risk is limited to validator slashing or protocol failure.
Yield farming carries market-driven and contract risks.
Going back to our earlier distinction,
Staking is economically similar to being paid for a security service.
yield farm rewards are based purely on market activity.
They exist because markets need liquidity for trading and borrowing.
The rewards come from trading fees and incentive tokens.
And the source notes that compounding risk is huge in farming.
A leverage strategy involves 3 or more smart contracts.
Each contract adds complexity and potential failure.
If one protocol fails, the entire layered strategy can collapse.
Whereas with staking, risk exposure is limited to the base network.
That distinction is why understanding the mechanics is so critical.
It determines what kind of risk you are taking on.
We've covered a huge amount of ground today.
That wraps up our deep dive into the mechanics.
Thank you so much for the clarifying questions.
Rusty Bots, JR.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Sure. So you just went into impermanent loss, and I don't think I fully got that understanding. Can you tell me a little bit more about impermanent loss, and maybe give me a real world example of how that would come into play, especially for a newer trader, maybe somebody that hasn't ever done yield farming?
JR and everyone else, we absolutely want to make sure this is clear.
That is the single most important concept in yield farming.
Okay, let's unpack this and simplify it even further.
Impermanent loss is essentially an opportunity cost.
It's what you lose compared to simply holding your tokens.
It is the difference in value between two scenarios.
Scenario 1, you put $2,000 in your wallet and forget it.
Scenario 2, you put that $2,000 into a liquidity pool.
Let's use that real world analogy you asked for.
Imagine you start a vending machine business with 2 products.
You put in 100 bottles of water and 100 cans of soda.
Let's say each bottle and can are initially worth $1.
Your total inventory value is $200.
Now, a health trend hits the market,
The price of water doubles to $2 a bottle.
but the price of soda stays at $1 a can.
Arbitrage traders rush to your machine.
They buy the cheap soda and sell the expensive water.
The machine's automated formula balances the inventory
It forces you to sell the cheaper soda.
and buy the more expensive water to maintain balance.
When you go to empty your machine later,
You now have, say, 130 cans of soda.
but only 70 bottles of water. If you had just held your assets, you'd have $300.
That's 100 water at $2 and 100 soda at $1.
But due to the trading and rebalancing,
Your pool share value is only, let's say, $280.
the $20 difference is the impermanent loss.
You lost out on the gains of the better performing asset because the pool automatically adjusted for the traders.
It is the arbitrageur's profit that equals the LP's loss.
And our sources showed, oh, yeah,
Okay, just a second. So we had a couple more people join the live stream, so I definitely want you to say hi to those folks. I'm not sure if you already said hi to Harp or maybe a Band-Aid or Al Jr. or It's Koopa, but I want you to say hi to them. And then I want you to use a totally different but related analogy about or example about this yield farming, okay? And the impermanent risk. Show us one more time, but don't use the vending machines. Use an actual crypto example.
Okay, we absolutely will pause for a quick welcome.
Huge hello to Harp, Band-Aid, and Al Jr.
And welcome to It's Koopa. We're happy you're here.
And we hear your request loud and clear.
You want to drop the vending machine analogy.
And you want a direct crypto example of impermanent loss.
Let's do it using the ETH and USDT tokens.
It's the most common example in our sources.
So imagine you want to provide liquidity.
You deposit assets into a pool, let's call it Uniswap.
You start with 10 ETH and 10,000 USDT.
At this moment, 1 ETH equals 1,000 USDT.
Your total invested value is 20,000 USDT.
This is your starting point, your hold portfolio.
Now the price of ETH explodes.
ETH goes from 1,000 USDT up to 2,000 USDT.
Arbitrage traders notice the pool is now cheap.
The pool's internal price is still catching up,
Traders remove the cheaper ETH.
and they deposit the now relatively expensive USDT.
The pool rebalances itself constantly.
When you decide to pull your funds out,
You might only have 7 ETH left.
but you now have 14,142 USDT.
If you had just held your starting assets,
The 10 ETH would be worth 20,000 USDT.
plus your 10,000 USDT stablecoins,
Your total hold value would be 30,000 USDT.
but the pool only worth about 28,142 USDT.
The difference, nearly 1,858 USDT, is the loss.
That is the impermanent loss in that pool.
You earned trading fees, but you still ended up short.
The sources show this loss can be massive.
We mentioned
Hey, yeah, what's up?
So you're saying impermanent loss basically is the same thing as unrealized loss or unrealized profit, or however you want to say it, for a day trader or a scalp trader. So basically, it's just an unrealized loss.
that's a great summation.
That's right. It is a very realized loss.
And we're really glad you picked up on that word realistic, because that's exactly the issue.
The name impermanent loss is misleading,
Because it implies it's only temporary.
but if you withdraw when those prices are convergent, the loss becomes permanent.
It's permanent if prices don't return to the ratio you started with.
The loss is permanent when you realize it.
And that loss, as we just saw, can be massive.
We mentioned the cumulative loss for volatile pairs earlier.
Our sources showed the loss for a volatile pool.
For Bitcoin and Ether, it was over 45%.
That's a huge potential loss to overcome.
But if you compare that to a stablecoin pool,
Like 2 US dollar peg coins.
the impermanent loss was near zero.
This is why choosing your pool is so critical for a yield farmer.
The volatility of the token pair amplifies the risk dramatically
Remember, this kind of loss simply doesn't exist in staking.
because stakers aren't providing liquidity for trading.
Impermanent loss is the inherent cost.
It's the cost of providing market liquidity for arbitrage.
The rewards from the pool must be high enough.
They need to compensate you for that exposure to volatility.
That distinction is absolutely fundamental in DeFi.
We really do appreciate you joining us. Oh, go for it.
Yep, we had a couple more people join into the live chat. We had Rashad come in and we had Buck come in. So I want you to say hi to those two. And then I want to go back towards here's my question. So my question is, why would I ever risk Bitcoin on a S coin or a Poo coin in some sort of yield farming scenario?
Thank you so much for the chime in.
Absolutely. A huge hello to the new folks.
Welcome, Russia Shot and Comments.
We're so glad you're here for this final segment.
And that is a brilliant follow-up question.
Why risk your blue chip asset in a volatile pool?
Why put Bitcoin or WBTC next to a Poo coin?
The short answer is risk reward.
You're aiming for massive returns, right?
Our sources discuss the concept of incentive tokens.
Newer protocols, or Poo coins, need liquidity fast.
They often distribute huge rewards to attract LPs.
They distribute their own governance or utility token.
This is a bonus on top of the trading fees.
It's an incentive emission designed to attract users.
They want you to lock your Bitcoin in their system.
The rewards they offer can be exponentially higher.
But those high yields come with a massive catch.
The risk of the new token collapsing is high.
And that amplifies your impermanent loss exposure.
It's a calculated gamble by the farmer.
They're hoping the temporary rewards outweigh the risk.
That's why high advertised yields are often temporary.
They reflect a promotional period, not sustainability. It's a way to bootstrap liquidity, then the yield decays.
The farmer's chasing that high incentive token.
But they must be willing to accept the full volatility risk.
That distinction is why understanding the mechanics is so critical.
It determines what kind of risk you are taking on.
We've covered a huge amount of ground today. Oh, yeah,
So with yield farming, since it's been around for a while and there's probably some really experienced players, is there a lot of gamification going on that would really kind of put a newer yield farmer at higher risk into where he would be at a huge disadvantage?
That is a phenomenal final question.
It brings us right to the heart of the operational risk.
And the short answer is absolutely yes.
This complexity creates massive disadvantages for newcomers.
The sources confirm that yield farming requires active management.
And it involves complex capital routing across protocols.
The experienced players, they are watching everything.
They are constantly monitoring pool composition and incentives,
They understand the specific risks like leverage borrow.
where they use collateral to borrow more than redeposit.
This is a leveraging spiral to maximize yield.
But it amplifies both profits and losses hugely. New farmers often overlook operational risks like user error.
Or misunderstanding the mechanics of a pool.
The experienced players are chasing temporary high incentives.
And when those incentives dry up, they move capital fast.
This liquidity migration can rapidly sink returns for everyone else.
It's an information and speed game.
Our sources even mention rug pulls in this context.
That's where developers abandon the project.
They leave with the capital targeting permissionless DEXs.
New farmers often fail to assess the underlying protocol health.
They are chasing the shiny APY number.
So yes, the system is highly competitive.
And it's designed to reward those who can move strategically.
Those experienced players are optimizing continuously.
It puts a huge, huge risk on the newer farmer.
It treats a disadvantage.
We've covered a huge amount of ground today.
Oh, back to our listener. What's
Yeah,
up?
so what it sounds like, again, this is Dave Digital. You are live on the Simple Terms podcast. So it sounds like for somebody that's risk averse, or somebody that's not as active, or somebody that doesn't know all the rules of yield farming, that staking would be the better option or the most profitable, less risky option. Is that correct? And can you point out the specifics of why?
That is the perfect summary of the entire deep dive.
You absolutely nailed the key conclusion, Dave Digital.
For someone who is risk averse or not active, staking is overwhelmingly the preferred option.
Yes, that is correct, and our sources clearly explain why.
We mentioned that staking is focused on network security,
Its rewards are defined by the protocol's rule.
not by the volatile demand of the marketplace.
This makes staking yields more stable and predictable.
Our source material explicitly states that staking generally carries lower complexity.
It also has lower technical risk than yield farming.
Think about the custody aspect we discussed.
Staking often allows you to retain more control.
You can delegate your assets without transferring custody.
Yield farming, conversely, almost always requires you to transfer assets to smart contracts.
That introduces contract custody risk.
And remember the giant differentiator, impermanent loss.
That risk does not exist in staking at all.
With yield farming, you are exposed to market-driven losses.
That's why staking is the more predictable path.
It's better suited for those prioritizing predictability.
Yield farming is for those managing active liquidity positions.
It demands continuous strategic optimization.
So yes, staking is the less risky option.
And that's based on the source of the rewards and the complexity.
That wraps up our deep dive into the Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, so we're not going to wrap up just yet. So if staking is the better option, I want you to go back into staking and explain to the audience how would they get involved with staking? What are the best, or maybe the strategy that you would choose your staking tokens? Like, would you pick the top 5 or top 10 or top 100, or would you just stay with Bitcoin and Ethereum? Can you go back into staking a little bit deeper? And if that is the better option, explain how the audience would get involved in staking and what the risks are and what are the best options to stay risk averse, yet still make more profit than just hodling.
We love that you want to go deeper.
You're right, we are not wrapping up just yet.
That is a perfect transition, focusing on the practical how.
And focusing specifically on Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Now, a quick point on Bitcoin first.
Bitcoin using proof of work does not have native staking.
You cannot stake Bitcoin directly on its own network.
However, you can use centralized or DeFi services.
But that is more like lending or liquidity provision.
It's not the true base layer post-staking we discussed.
So let's focus on Ethereum, which is pure post-staking.
Our sources detailed 3 main ways to get involved.
The first and most commitment heavy is running your own validator.
This requires a minimum of 32 Ether, or ETH.
That's a significant capital commitment, obviously.
And it requires technical knowledge to mitigate slashing risk.
That's the risk of losing collateral for misbehavior.
That is definitely the most risk-intensive staking path.
The second and third paths are for the risk-averse user.
These involve third-party services or staking pools.
You can delegate to a centralized exchange, like Coinbase.
They handle the validator technicals for you.
This is simpler, but you give up custody of your assets.
Not your keys, not your coins applies here.
The third and arguably best risk-averse option is liquid staking.
This is a way to get involved without a 32 ETH minimum.
And you still retain some asset utility.
Protocols like Lido or Rocket Tool offer this service,
You deposit your ETH with them.
and they give you a derivative token in return.
like Steph, which represents your stake ETH.
Now you are earning staking rewards.
But you still hold a liquid asset, Steph.
This token allows you to use your ETH value elsewhere,
This strategy is popular because it reduces lockup risk.
but it adds the risk of the liquid staking protocol itself.
This is the risk of the PEG token losing its 1.1 value.
Our sources mention the depeg risk is real.
So the best risk-averse option is probably liquid staking.
It gives you diversification and utility
And you still make more profit than just holding.
because you earn the protocol-defined rewards.
So that covers the core mechanics.
Thank you so much for pushing us to cover the practical side.
You truly, oh yeah, go on.
Yep, so just a few corrections. I want to acknowledge our chat because we really appreciate the live chat coming in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have Jesse Halluck, we have Crypto Billy, we have Joe from Trade Intuition, we have Dusty Hunt and All Set Analyst, we have Alexandra G, we have Steve Hickey, we have Pieces of Mind, we have Rusty Bot, we have JR, we also have Hart, Maybe a Band-Aid, we have Al Jr., It's Koopa, Rashad, Buck Buchanan, and Nero. Okay, I want you to say a farewell to each one of those people as we close. But first, I want you to go ahead and summarize what we've talked about today, where we are, and what network we're on, all that good stuff before you say your goodbyes. And when you say your goodbyes, I want you to say to each one personally something funny.
Wow, that is a fantastic list of friends.
Thank you for keeping track of everyone who joined us.
You want a summary of the whole show first?
Absolutely, let's provide a final overview.
Okay, let's unpack this for the summary.
We spent the day in the world of DeFi.
Specifically, comparing staking versus yield farming.
We established that staking is fundamentally about security.
It's the mechanism of proof-of-stake networks.
Validators lock up native crypto as collateral.
They are paid rewards for maintaining the ledger.
The goal is high security through economic incentive.
The risk is mainly collateral slashing or protocol failure.
We then pivoted to yield farming.
This is an active, leveraged asset management strategy.
It's powered by decentralized exchanges or DEX,
Farmers use liquidity pools to earn trading fees.
and they often chase incentive tokens for high returns.
The core risk here is impermanent loss.
That's the loss you incur compared to simply holding.
It happens when asset prices in the pool diverge.
We concluded that staking is the better option,
It's for the risk-averse user who prioritizes predictability.
especially using liquid staking options on Ethereum.
That brings us to our farewells, as requested.
You truly helped us round out the discussion today.
A massive
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, right before you get into each of those farewells, let me go through it one more time because I definitely missed Curtis Hill, and I don't want to miss him. He's one of my favorites. And then we do have Nero. We have Buck Buchanan, Rashad. We have It's Koopa, Al Jr., Maybe a Band-Aid, Hart. We also have JR, Rusty Bot, Pieces of My Mind, Steve Hickey, Alexandra G, All Set Miner, Dusty Hunt, Joe from Trade Intuition, Crypto Billy from Billy Goat Tales, and Jesse Halluck. So those are all the people I want you to say goodbye to and say something funny individually to each and every one.
We love that you are keeping our list updated.
Thank you for making sure we recognize everyone.
And a special shout out to Curtis Hill.
We can't miss a favorite.
You want us to give individual funny goodbyes.
That is quite the request for a technical deep dive.
We will certainly try our best to be memorable.
But we will stick to being friendly and appreciative.
We'll make sure to get everyone on your list.
You truly helped us round out the discussion today.
A massive thank you to Jesse.
May your validator never get slashed.
And to Crypto Billy.
Hope your block rewards are high.
Thank you, Joe, from Trade Intuition.
Don't forget to study the smart contract risk.
Hello, Dusty Hunt and Analyst.
We hope you found the analysis insightful.
A big appreciation to Alexandra G.
Keep spotting those arbitrage opportunities.
Great to have you, Steve Hickey.
We hope you have some peace of mind now.
Thank you for your presence, peace of mind.
Be careful with those volatile pairs.
Good to see you, Rusty Bot.
May your compounding yields be continuous.
And thanks for the questions, Jim Jr.
Go back and study impermanent loss.
We appreciate your insights, Harp.
Keep an eye on those DPEG risks.
And thank you, Band-Aid.
Hope we helped heal some confusion.
Farewell to El Juju Jr.
Don't miss out on those liquid staking options.
And it's Koopa. Thank you for joining us.
Remember, staking is the security service.
A final goodbye to Comance and Russia Shot.
May your liquidity pool stay balanced.
And of course, a big thank you to Curtis Hill.
You are a favorite of ours too now.
We truly appreciate you joining us on the Simple Terms podcast.
Until next time, keep digging into those details.
And keep thinking critically about your assets.
All righty. So that'll wrap up the section of the deep dive section of the Simple Terms podcast for today. Let's slide back over and take a look at Bitcoin. So that was pretty cool. I mean, if you guys have tried farming before, it was it's definitely something different. And like for me, it was a long time ago. So it just seemed like every time that I would put something into the farming, like I would just forget where it is or what it was, or and then I would go back and check later on, and it was like 10% of what it was, or even way less than that. So I had no fun with the farming. Some people are really good at it, but it is super gamified. So you have to be active over there. Billy has been a staker for a long time, and I've staked like ETH and things like that. So it makes sense if you're not going to be using it at all to stake it, especially a secure token like ETH or something like that. And yeah, the the AI is having fun with some names this morning. Good to see you, Rashad. And I don't think they got Buck's name right or Nero's name right, but it's really cool. They did get a few of them right. They finally got JR right, except the last time I think you were Jim JR, which is, hey, you got to be Jim JR once in a while. Let's take a look over here. What did Bitcoin do while we've been hanging out? Anything cool? Not so much. Just kind of hanging out at the same spot, it looks like. Let's see here. Yep. Looks like it's hanging out in the same spot. Maybe a little bit of a pump. All right, guys. Well, I don't keep you longer than what you need to be kept, but we do still have business to take care of. Well, first, we would love to see you tomorrow on the Billy Goat Tales Network when we do our family, where the whole family comes together and we do our Sunday show. That is at 4 p.m. Texas time, so that's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Billy Goat Tales Network, where we're all going to come together. Keep your eye open because that topic will be dropping this afternoon. A lot of other cool stuff going on this week. Obviously, it's a brand new year. Jimmy and Taco are over at the card show at the George R. Brown Convention Center, so they are having a lot of fun over there. I think JR said he was about to go live. I don't know if they dropped a link in the chat, but feel free if you're a mod to drop a link in the chat. I see JR is not a mod yet, but if you send it to Jesse or send it to Crypto Billy or into one of the people that are mods, then we can go ahead and drop that link. That way everybody can go and check out JR's live stream right after this show. Let me see here. And then, so you guys know what time it is. You guys already know what time it is. You've been here before. You know what we're about to do. This isn't your first time. Oh, what time it is? It's time to open the club. Come on, y'all. Saturday morning. Wake up. You have to go to JR's stream if you're still dead. Anybody get hurt? Come on, Billy. Take the golf cart. Join the talk. Let's go.
Open the club. You know what time it is. It's time to open the club. 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 Billy Goat Tales. Billy Goat Tales. Billy Goat Tales.
All right, guys. Happy Saturday to you guys. Happy 26th. Thanks for coming in today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to let this play over the top of the outro. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming in. Share out the stream. Love to see you again on tomorrow.
You know what time it is. It's time to open the
In simple
club.
terms, we
It's time to
break
open
it
the
big stuff, we make it sound clear and easy for you and me. Billy Goat Tales and Dave Digital bring knowledge we share. In simple terms, we're everywhere. We love you, fam. Hashtag givers gain.
Open the club. You know what time